What if I told you that every thought you've ever had, every dream, every memory, every flicker of joy or grief began as an electrical storm inside a 3-pound organ made mostly of water and fat? That who you are, what you love, what you fear, all of it lives inside a tangled forest of neurons, firing in patterns that will never exist again in quite the same way. Welcome back to the Sleep Labs. Tonight, we're traveling into the quiet miracle that sits behind your eyes, the human brain. Before we begin, I'd love to know where you're listening from tonight. What time is it where you are? Are you just waking up, your thoughts still finding their rhythm, or lying in the dark, letting the noise of the day fade into something softer? Tell me in the comments. I always love seeing how far these quiet journeys travel, how many minds are connected through curiosity and calm, because the brain isn't just a machine. It's a storyteller, a translator of light and sound into experience, a dreamer that never truly rests. Every heartbeat, every breath, every sense of self you carry is shaped by this intricate network, 100 billion neurons, communicating through chemical whispers. It's a landscape more complex than any galaxy we've ever mapped, and yet it's home. It's where you live, so take a slow breath. Feel your awareness draw inward to that place behind your eyes where everything begins. Let the outside world fade a little. As we step into the labyrinth of thought and memory and emotion, these are 100 facts about the human brain, a journey through the organ that makes you who you are, and the mysteries that still live quietly inside every mind. Fact 1. The human brain is both delicate and extraordinary, a 3-pound mass of tissue that somehow contains everything you are. About 75% of it is water, yet within that fluid, billions of neurons create the spark of consciousness. Each thought, every memory, every dream is an electrical impulse traveling through a web of cells so intricate that if you stretched them all end to end, they would reach the moon and back several times. And yet, despite centuries of study, we still don't fully understand how those tiny pulses of electricity turn into a sense of self. The brain is not a simple organ. It's a universe folded into silence, a storm that somehow dreams. Fact 2. Your brain is constantly rewriting its own wiring. Every thought, every habit, every new experience reshapes it in small ways. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, and it means that who you are is not fixed, it's fluid, sculpted moment by moment by what you do, what you feel, and what you learn. When you practice a skill or replay a memory, your neurons fire together, strengthening the connections between them. Neurons that fire together wire together. Researchers say the brain is never still. It's a living map, changing shape even as you listen to this sentence. Fact 3. Inside your skull, there are about 100 billion neurons, but there are just as many glial cells, the silent partners of thought. For decades, scientists ignored them, assuming they were just the scaffolding that held neurons in place. Now we know better. Glial cells feed neurons, clean up waste, and even help regulate the timing of electrical signals. They're like the caretakers of consciousness, keeping the orchestra of the brain in tune. Without them, thought would collapse into static. Fact 4. When you remember something, your brain doesn't replay it like a video. It rebuilds it piece by piece each time. Memory isn't a recording, it's a reconstruction, a story your brain tells itself based on fragments of the past. That's why memories change. They fade, shift, adapt. Every time you recall a moment, you reshape it. The past becomes something slightly new, slightly reimagined. In that way, the act of remembering is also the act of rewriting who you are. Fact 5. The brain never truly sleeps. Even in the deepest hours of night, when your body is still, your mind is alive with waves of activity. During REM sleep, neurons fire in complex rhythms that replay and reorganize the day's experiences. Your brain is sorting, cleaning, deciding what to keep and what to let go. That's why sleep feels like a kind of quiet therapy. It's when your brain heals itself. In a sense, every morning you wake up slightly rewritten, slightly renewed. Fact 6. Thought itself has a rhythm. Every feeling, every idea, every flicker of attention corresponds to electrical oscillations, brainwaves that rise and fall in cycles measured in hertz. Fast gamma waves for focus, slow delta waves for deep sleep. When you meditate, daydream, or fall into creative flow, your brain shifts frequencies, like tuning to a different station. These oscillations synchronize different regions of the brain, linking thought, emotion, and memory into the seamless experience of being you. Fact 7. The brain you have now isn't the same one you were born with. In the first few years of life, it grows explosively, forming more than 1 million new connections every second. By adolescence, many of those connections are pruned away, streamlined for efficiency. It's a process that never really stops, a constant balancing act between growth and refinement, between potential and precision. In this way, your brain is both ancient and new, shaped by evolution and by every moment you've ever lived. Fact 8. Most of what your brain does, it does in silence, below the level of awareness. Every heartbeat, every breath, every tiny movement of your eyes is coordinated by neural systems that operate in the background, effortlessly, invisibly. Consciousness is just the surface of the ocean. The vast machinery of mind works beneath. When you feel a sudden intuition, a hunch, or a sense of déjà vu, that's the unconscious whispering, the deeper layers of the brain surfacing for just a moment. Fact 9. Your brain creates reality, not just interprets it. The colors you see, the sounds you hear, even the sense of passing time are all constructions of the mind. There is no color or sound in the outside world, only waves of energy. Your brain decodes those waves and gives them meaning, painting the world into existence with every second of experience. In that way, perception isn't just a window, it's a kind of art. Fact 10. The human brain is the most energy-hungry organ in your body. Though it accounts for only about 2% of your weight, it consumes roughly 20% of the energy you produce each day. Every thought costs something. Every decision burns fuel. That's why mental exhaustion feels so physical, because it is. Your brain runs on the same sugar that powers your muscles, and when it runs low, it demands rest. The mind may seem weightless, but it's always bound to the body that feeds it. Fact 11. Every emotion you feel, joy, fear, grief, wonder, begins as chemistry. Deep inside the brain, structures like the amygdala, hypothalamus, and prefrontal cortex orchestrate a symphony of electrical impulses and hormones that ripple through your entire body. The brain interprets those signals, labels them, and from that, you experience what we call feeling. But emotions aren't just reactions. They're messages. They tell the body how to prepare, whether to hold back or move forward, to protect or to connect. Each tear, each heartbeat, each rush of warmth in your chest is your brain's way of helping you survive. Fact 12. The brain is divided into two hemispheres, left and right. But the myth that one side is logical and the other creative isn't quite true. Both halves work together constantly, communicating across a bundle of fibers called the corpus callosum, like two musicians improvising a single song. The left tends to handle details, language, and sequence, while the right focuses on patterns, tone, and meaning. Together, they weave everything from art to argument. You are not left-brained or right-brained. You are whole-brained, balanced, fluid, and endlessly adaptable. Fact 13. Inside your skull, electricity travels faster than any thought can keep up with. Neurons communicate through synapses, tiny gaps between cells, by releasing chemicals called neurotransmitters. Some excite, others inhibit. Serotonin, dopamine, glutamate, GABA, a language of chemistry that creates movement, mood, and memory. At any moment, billions of these conversations are happening at once. It's a storm of light and charge, a biological lightning that never stops. In a way, your brain is a thundercloud that thinks. Fact 14. When you fall in love, your brain changes. Circuits for pleasure, attachment, and reward flood with dopamine and oxytocin. The world sharpens, colors brighten, time feels distorted. It's not just a feeling, it's a neurological event as real as hunger or pain. Over time, that chemistry deepens, reshaping neural pathways to form long-term bonds. The sensation of love becomes a kind of memory, a pattern your brain can return to long after the initial spark has faded. Love, like learning, leaves traces. Fact 15. The human brain can generate its own weather. Under stress, it releases cortisol and adrenaline, preparing the body for survival. Under peace, it releases endorphins and serotonin, the chemistry of safety. But chronic stress floods the system with too much of the wrong kind of storm. Cortisol can shrink neurons in the hippocampus, the part of the brain that governs memory and emotional balance. It's proof that the mind and body are inseparable, that thoughts can shape biology, and that calm is not just a feeling, but a form of healing. Fact 16. Deep inside the brain lies a structure called the hippocampus, shaped like a seahorse. It is the keeper of memory. It decides what to store, what to forget, what to connect. When you revisit a place from childhood, and the smell of rain or the sound of wind stirs an old feeling, that's the hippocampus at work, cross-linking the past and the present in a single breath. Damage to it can erase years of experience, but even then, fragments linger. The brain is resilient, and memory never vanishes entirely. It only sinks deeper. Fact 17. Your brain and your gut are in constant conversation. The enteric nervous system, a network of more than 500 million neurons woven through your digestive tract, is sometimes called the second brain. It produces neurotransmitters, sends emotional signals, and even influences decision-making. When you feel butterflies in your stomach or a gut feeling about something, that's not a metaphor, it's biology, your two brains whispering to each other. Fact 18. Every brain has its own fingerprint, a unique pattern of connections, rhythms, and firing speeds that no two people share. Even identical twins who share the same DNA develop distinct neural wiring based on their experiences. This individuality is what makes consciousness so difficult to define. There is no universal blueprint for thought. Every mind is a world unto itself, a one-time arrangement of cells and sparks that will never exist again. Fact 19. The brain is capable of rewiring itself after injury in ways once thought impossible. After a stroke, neurons near the damaged area can adapt, taking over lost functions. In some cases, other regions of the brain entirely reassign themselves to new tasks. It's a process called functional reorganization, and it shows that the brain is not fragile. It's dynamic, creative, and astonishingly persistent. Even when pieces are lost, it finds new ways to think, to move, to remember. Fact 20. The brain is constantly predicting the future. Every sensation, every movement, every perception is the result of a guess, a forecast built from memory and expectation. When you reach for a cup, your brain calculates where it will be before your hand even moves. When you listen to someone speak, it anticipates the next word before it's said. Most of the time, it's right, and when it's wrong, we call it surprise. Your experience of reality, then, isn't just observation. It's imagination happening faster than you can know. Fact 21. Every brain tells itself stories. When the world doesn't make sense, the mind fills in the gaps, inventing connections, explanations, even illusions to preserve a sense of order. This is why you sometimes see patterns in clouds or faces in shadows. It's called pareidolia, and it's the brain's attempt to find meaning even where there is none. It's not a flaw, it's survival. A brain that can detect danger or intention, even falsely, has a better chance of staying alive. But that same instinct gives rise to art, to mythology, to imagination itself, all born from the mind's endless need to make sense of the dark. Fact 22. The brain's reward system is ancient. When you eat, laugh, or hear a piece of music that moves you, the nucleus accumbens releases dopamine, a neurochemical that feels like joy. It's the same mechanism that drove early humans to seek food, warmth, and companionship, now adapted to modern pleasures, conversation, creativity, discovery. Dopamine doesn't reward the goal itself, it rewards the pursuit. It is the chemical of curiosity keeping you moving toward what makes life worth living. Fact 23. Your sense of time is an illusion created by the brain. There is no clock inside your head, just rhythms, pulses, and perceptions stitched together to form a narrative. When you're frightened, your brain takes in more information and time seems to slow. When you're bored, it processes less and moments stretch thin. When you're joyful or deeply absorbed, time disappears completely. The brain doesn't measure time. It feels it. That's why memory is uneven. Some days vanish, others echo for decades. Fact 24. The brain speaks many languages, but not all of them are words. There are neural networks for movement, for emotion, for imagery, for intuition. When you listen to music or look at art, your brain lights up in patterns far beyond speech. You feel meaning before you can explain it. And when words finally come, they are translations, imperfect, approximate echoes of the deeper language your neurons already understand. Fact 25. Creativity is not chaos. It's the brain making unlikely connections between distant ideas. In moments of inspiration, the brain's default mode network, usually active during daydreaming, interacts with the executive network responsible for focus and decision-making. It's a rare collaboration between spontaneity and control. That's why creative ideas often appear when you're relaxed, walking, or about to fall asleep. The mind needs stillness to wander freely enough to find something new. Fact 26. The brain remembers pain differently from other sensations. Physical pain fades, but emotional pain can replay for years, triggered by smells, sounds, or memories. When you recall a painful event, the brain reactivates many of the same regions involved in the original experience as if it's happening again. This is why heartbreak feels physical, why loss aches in the chest. To the brain, emotion and sensation are not separate things. They are intertwined stories of survival. Fact 27. Laughter is older than language. Long before humans could speak, our ancestors laughed, a sound of relief and connection that signaled safety after danger. Today, laughter still binds us, synchronizing heart rates, reducing stress, and releasing endorphins that strengthen social bonds. Neuroscientists have found that laughter lights up multiple areas of the brain at once: emotion, movement, memory, and cognition. It's not just joy, it's communication, as primal as a heartbeat. Fact 28. The brain's visual cortex occupies more space than any other sensory region. Sight dominates human experience. Yet what you see is only a small fraction of the information your eyes take in. The brain filters most of it out, focusing only on what it deems important. That's why you can miss entire objects in plain view if your attention is elsewhere. Vision is selective. You don't see reality, you see what your brain decides matters. Fact 29. When you imagine something vividly enough, your brain activates many of the same regions it uses for real perception. To the brain, strong imagination and genuine experience are nearly indistinguishable. This is why visualization can improve performance, why memories can feel tangible, and why dreams can blur so easily with waking thought. The brain doesn't always separate what is seen from what is believed. It creates a single, seamless world, real or not. Fact 30. Consciousness, the simple awareness of being, remains one of science's deepest mysteries. It cannot yet be measured or fully defined. Some neuroscientists believe it arises from complex patterns of neural communication, while others suggest it may be a fundamental property of the universe, like gravity or light. Whatever the truth, consciousness feels intimate and infinite at once. The fact that the brain can think about itself, can wonder about its own existence, might be its most astonishing trick of all. Fact 31. Your brain never truly rests, even when you sleep. In fact, during certain stages of deep rest, it becomes more active, replaying memories, processing emotions, repairing cells, and rebalancing its chemistry. Sleep isn't an absence of thought. It's a reorganization of it. As you dream, the brain quietly rewires itself, strengthening the connections that matter and letting go of the ones that don't. Every night, without your awareness, your mind performs a kind of emotional housekeeping, clearing clutter, keeping what's essential, and preparing you to begin again. Fact 32. Inside your skull, no part of your brain feels pain. The tissue itself has no pain receptors, which is why neurosurgeons can operate on the brain while a patient is awake, guided by their responses. The feeling of pain comes not from the brain, but from its interpretation of signals elsewhere. It's a strange paradox. The organ that feels everything cannot feel itself. It watches over every nerve in your body, but remains numb to its own existence. Fact 33. Each memory you recall is a reconstruction, not a recording. When you remember, the brain doesn't replay a stored video. It rebuilds the event from fragments scattered across neural networks. Each time you recall it, you change it slightly, reshaping it in the light of who you are now. In this way, memory is alive. It evolves as you do. What you remember most vividly isn't what truly happened. It's what your mind has chosen to keep. Fact 30. The brain is about 75% water, yet it can generate enough electricity to power a small light bulb. Every thought, every motion, every dream is a flicker of energy, the product of ions moving across cell membranes. This electrical activity is what allows neurons to talk, to pass tiny sparks of meaning from one cell to another. It's humbling to think that everything you are, every plan and poem and heartbeat, is built on the same principle as lightning in a storm. Fact 30. Music has a direct pathway to the brain's emotional core. It activates the amygdala, the hippocampus, and even the motor cortex, making you feel, remember, and move, often before you realize it. The rhythm of a song can synchronize with your heartbeat, your breathing, your very sense of time. Music bypasses logic. It speaks the brain's oldest language. That's why a melody can move you to tears without a single word being spoken. Fact 30. The brain is remarkably efficient. Despite using about 20% of the body's total energy, it runs on just enough power to light a dim bulb, roughly 20 watts. It achieves this balance through selective attention, focusing only on what it deems necessary. You're constantly filtering out noise, adjusting focus, simplifying the chaos of reality into something manageable. It's not that the world is simple, it's that your brain makes it seem so. Fact 37. Every decision you make begins before you're aware of it. Studies using brain imaging show that neural activity predicting a choice can appear seconds before the conscious mind decides. In other words, part of you, the deeper, unconscious part, has already begun the process before you know it. Consciousness, in this sense, may be less a commander and more a narrator, arriving just in time to tell the story of what your brain has already done. Fact 38. The brain is wired for empathy. Mirror neurons, discovered in the 1990s, allow you to feel what others feel, not metaphorically, but biologically. When you see someone smile, cry, or flinch, your brain echoes their state, simulating the experience internally. It's the foundation of compassion and connection, the silent circuitry that makes human relationships possible. The line between self and other is thinner than it seems. We are, quite literally, built to feel together. Fact 39. Dreams are the theater of the mind. In sleep, the brain's logical regions quiet down while the emotional and visual centers light up, creating a landscape where anything is possible. Sometimes dreams help the brain process trauma or problem solve unconsciously. Sometimes they are simply the byproduct of a restless mind at play. But whatever their cause, dreams remind us that imagination isn't something we control. It's something that lives inside us, always waiting for the lights to dim. Fact 40. The human brain may be small in size, but in terms of complexity, it surpasses any structure known to science. Within its folds are roughly 86 billion neurons, each forming thousands of connections, more than the stars in the Milky Way. Every thought, feeling, and act of creation arises from this vast electrical cosmos. You are, in a very real sense, a universe observing itself, the cosmos learning to look inward. Fact 41. The brain's plasticity allows it to reshape itself throughout life. Neurons form new connections in response to learning, experience, and even injury. This means the adult brain is not fixed, but a landscape in constant motion, capable of adapting to challenges, rewiring itself after trauma, and growing in ways that were once thought impossible. Every new skill you practice, every book you read, every conversation you remember, reshapes the architecture of your mind. The brain is never static. It is a living, breathing map of your experiences. Fact 42. Laughter has a profound neurological effect. When you laugh, multiple areas of the brain activate simultaneously, from the motor cortex to the limbic system, releasing a cocktail of endorphins that reduce stress and strengthen social bonds. The brain doesn't just respond to humor intellectually. It responds physiologically, flooding the body with signals that make you feel lighter, calmer, and more connected to those around you. In a very real sense, laughter is a full-body meditation orchestrated by the brain. Fact 43. Your brain creates a sense of time, yet it is deeply subjective. When you're anxious, minutes can stretch into hours. When you're absorbed in a task, hours can vanish unnoticed. The cerebellum and basal ganglia play crucial roles in sequencing events and predicting outcomes. Yet the experience of time is constructed in the mind's narrative centers. Reality is not measured in seconds and minutes alone. It is filtered through perception, and the brain is the ultimate timekeeper, constantly interpreting, adjusting, and imagining what comes next. Fact 44. The brain thrives on patterns. It constantly searches for connections, sequences, and familiar structures, which is why humans excel at language, music, and mathematics. But this pattern seeking also makes the brain prone to illusions, assumptions, and biases. What you perceive as truth is often a construction of your neural networks, shaped by past experiences, expectations, and the endless dance of neurons trying to predict the next moment. Your brain is both a brilliant detective and a storyteller, always weaving coherence from chaos. Fact 45. The human brain can survive and sometimes even thrive under extreme stress. Cortisol, the stress hormone, changes neural firing patterns, heightens alertness, and can sharpen focus in short bursts. Yet chronic stress can damage the hippocampus, impair memory, and alter emotional regulation. The brain is a fragile powerhouse, capable of extraordinary feats when challenged, but always demanding care, balance, and rest. In this tension between resilience and vulnerability, we see the brain's remarkable adaptability. Fact 46. Memory is a collaborative act between neurons and chemicals. Glutamate, dopamine, and acetylcholine, among other molecules, help encode, store, and retrieve experiences. When you remember a scent, a sound, or a face, your brain is orchestrating a symphony of signals that converge to reconstruct an event. Memory is less about perfect recall and more about connection. Each recollection, a bridge between neurons, a map of what mattered to you, a living archive of your life. Fact 47. Your brain interprets the body as a whole using a mental map called the homunculus. This map doesn't represent the body evenly. Your hands, lips, and face occupy disproportionately large regions of the sensory cortex because they require more precision and feedback. Every touch, movement, and sensation is filtered through this internal map, reminding us that perception is always subjective. What your brain feels is not merely the world outside, but a vivid reconstruction filtered through its own complex architecture. Fact 48. Neurotransmitters are the brain's silent messengers orchestrating mood, attention, and thought. Serotonin stabilizes mood, dopamine motivates action, and GABA provides calm. Their delicate balance determines not just how you feel, but how you perceive the world. Tiny shifts in these chemicals can change entire perspectives, alter decision-making, and even influence who you are in the quiet moments between one thought and the next. The mind is a chemical garden blooming in response to signals invisible to the eye. Fact 49. The act of forgetting is as important as remembering. Synaptic pruning removes connections that are no longer useful, streamlining neural networks to function more efficiently. Without this, the brain would be overwhelmed by redundant information. Forgetting is not failure, it is optimization, a form of neurological decluttering that allows focus, creativity, and learning to flourish. In essence, the brain chooses what matters and lets go of the rest, shaping the self through omission as much as inclusion. Fact 50. The human brain is an observer of its own existence. Through self-awareness, reflection, and imagination, it can consider its own thoughts, dream of futures, and reconstruct the past. This recursive ability to think about thinking is rare in the natural world. It allows art, philosophy, and science to emerge. Every decision you make, every memory you hold, every silent reflection at the edge of sleep is the brain witnessing itself, a universe aware of its own unfolding. Fact 51. The brain's visual system is a marvel of complexity. Light enters the eyes and is converted into electrical signals, traveling along the optic nerve to the visual cortex, where the world is reconstructed in astonishing detail. But the brain doesn't just passively see. It predicts, fills gaps, and interprets meaning. When you glance at a partially obscured object, your brain guesses what's hidden, blending memory, context, and expectation. Vision is not merely reception, it is an active creation, a constant collaboration between perception and imagination. Fact 52. Dreams are windows into the brain's hidden architecture. During REM sleep, neurons fire in patterns that are both chaotic and structured, blending fragments of memory, emotion, and imagination. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thought, is less active, allowing surreal and illogical scenarios to unfold. Dreams are not just random. They are exercises in creativity, emotional processing, and problem-solving. In these nocturnal narratives, the brain explores the unknown landscapes of itself, often revealing truths that waking consciousness cannot access. Fact 53. Music affects the brain in profound ways. Listening to a favorite melody activates auditory, emotional, and motor regions simultaneously, releasing dopamine and triggering memories. Playing an instrument strengthens connections between hemispheres and enhances cognitive flexibility. The brain treats music as both reward and learning, forging patterns that resonate with emotion, memory, and rhythm. In this way, music is not merely entertainment. It is a dialogue with the brain, a bridge between neurons and the soul. Fact 54. The brain's response to stress is both protective and transformative. In moments of danger, the amygdala activates the fight-or-flight response, releasing adrenaline and heightening awareness. Over time, repeated stress reshapes neural networks, reinforcing pathways of vigilance or anxiety. Yet the brain can also heal, rewiring circuits through mindfulness, meditation, and supportive experiences. This delicate balance between threat and resilience is a testament to the brain's capacity to survive, adapt, and sometimes even flourish under pressure. Fact 55. Language is both a product and a shaper of the brain. The Broca's area and Wernicke's area coordinate to produce and understand speech, while countless neural networks support reading, writing, and comprehension. Learning a new language doesn't just add vocabulary, it reshapes connectivity, enhances memory, and improves multitasking. The brain is not a passive vessel for words. It actively builds structures to accommodate thought, communication, and expression, showing that language is a tool that literally molds the mind. Fact 50. The brain's sense of self is distributed and complex. The default mode network, active during introspection, imagination, and daydreaming, helps create the narrative of I that we inhabit. This network weaves memories, emotions, and anticipations into a coherent story, allowing you to reflect on your past, plan your future, and situate yourself in the present. The self is not a fixed entity, but a dynamic process, continuously assembled and reassembled by the brain in ways that are intimate, fleeting, and profoundly human. Fact 50. The brain can change in response to movement. Physical exercise stimulates neurogenesis, particularly in the hippocampus, improving memory and mood. Coordinated motion strengthens connections across regions, enhancing attention and problems. The body and brain are not separate. Every movement, stretch, or step sends signals that influence cognition, emotion, and resilience. In this way, walking, dancing, or even stretching is a conversation between neurons and muscles, a reminder that thought and motion are inseparable. Fact 50. Pain is more than a signal. It is an experience constructed by the brain. Nociceptors detect injury, but the brain interprets intensity, location, and meaning. Integrating emotional and cognitive factors, chronic pain illustrates this complexity as the brain can maintain the sensation even in the absence of ongoing injury. Pain is simultaneously biological, psychological, and phenomenological, revealing the brain's role as both interpreter and storyteller, shaping reality with every signal it receives. Fact 59. Emotions are deeply embodied in the brain. The amygdala processes fear, the ventral striatum handles reward, and the insula maps bodily states associated with feelings. Emotions are not abstract. They are chemical, electrical, and somatic, influencing posture, heartbeat, and attention. The brain doesn't just generate emotions, it experiences them fully, blending mind and body in a dance that informs decisions, memories, and interactions with the world. Each feeling is a neural symphony that colors the human experience. Fact 60. Imagination is a hallmark of the human brain. Through the prefrontal cortex and associative networks, the mind can create worlds that have never existed, simulate outcomes, and invent solutions. This capacity allows for art, innovation, empathy, and foresight. Imagination is not an escape from reality. It is a tool for understanding, anticipating, and reshaping it. The brain's ability to picture the unreal is what allows humanity to progress, dream, and connect across time and space, making it one of the most extraordinary organs in the known universe. Fact 61. Memory is not a static storage system. It is a living, malleable process. The hippocampus encodes experiences, but each recall slightly reshapes the memory, integrating new information, context, or emotion. This is why recollections can feel vivid yet change over time, blending fact and interpretation. Memories are more than records. They are active reconstructions, a dialogue between past and present that allows the brain to learn, imagine, and adapt. Every remembered moment is both an echo and a creation, a testament to the brain's remarkable capacity to continuously rewrite the story of your life. Fact 62. The brain's perception of time is fluid and personal. Neural circuits track intervals, durations, and rhythms, but attention, emotion, and context warp this sense. A moment of joy can feel fleeting, while fear or anticipation can stretch seconds into eternity. Time is constructed, stitched together by the brain from patterns of neural activity, and it is intimately tied to consciousness itself. The brain doesn't merely mark time, it shapes it, bending experience into subjective narrative, allowing the world to exist not only around us but within the temporal landscape of our own minds. Fact 63. The sense of touch is a complex dialogue between the skin and the brain. Receptors detect pressure, temperature, vibration, and pain, sending signals that are interpreted in the somatosensory cortex. Touch conveys more than physical information. It carries emotion, communication, and memory. The brush of a hand, the warmth of a hug, even subtle vibrations encode meaning and connection, highlighting how deeply the brain links physical sensation with social and emotional experience. Touch is not just contact. It is a language the brain reads fluently, shaping perception, comfort, and awareness. Fact 64. The brain's decision-making processes are both rational and deeply emotional. The prefrontal cortex evaluates logic, while the amygdala and limbic structures weigh fear, reward, and risk. Even choices that feel purely intellectual are tinged with affective bias, past experience, and intuition. Decision-making is not merely computation. It is a negotiation between competing neural networks, a subtle dance of probability, memory, and desire. The brain navigates complexity not by absolute certainty, but through adaptive, flexible strategies that balance reason and feeling, logic and instinct. Fact 65. Creativity arises from the brain's ability to connect disparate ideas. The default mode network, associative regions, and executive circuits collaborate to produce insight and invention. Original thought emerges when the brain simultaneously explores, evaluates, and recombines fragments of experience, memory, and knowledge. Creativity is not a single spark, but a sustained process of pattern recognition, synthesis, and reinterpretation. It is the brain's gift to transform chaos into order, randomness into meaning, and imagination into tangible expression. Fact 66. The brain's response to learning is dynamic, involving changes at the cellular level. Synapses strengthen or weaken based on repetition, attention, and emotional safety. Neuroplasticity allows the brain to reorganize itself, adapt to new skills, and recover from injury. Learning is not simply absorbing information. It is sculpting the neural landscape, creating pathways that shape thought, perception, and potential. Each act of study, practice, or curiosity leaves an indelible mark, demonstrating that the brain is not just a processor of knowledge, but a constantly evolving work of living architecture. Fact 6. Emotions and social connection are inseparable in the brain. Oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin weave together feelings of trust, attachment, and empathy. Mirror neurons allow the brain to understand others' actions and intentions, fostering connection and cooperation. Social interaction is not superficial. It is a core neurological necessity, influencing mental health, cognition, and even longevity. The brain is wired for relational experience, making connection not merely desirable but essential, and revealing that much of our inner life is shaped in response to the lives of those around us. Fact 6. The brain thrives on prediction and pattern recognition. Neurons continuously anticipate outcomes, filling in gaps to make sense of sensory input. This predictive coding allows rapid responses, from catching a falling object to interpreting nuanced conversation. The brain's power lies not just in reacting, but in anticipating, using experience to forecast what comes next. This constant modeling of reality makes cognition efficient, adaptive, and profoundly intelligent, turning perception into a dialogue between expectation and observation. Fact 69. The brain experiences reward as a complex orchestration of chemicals and circuits. Dopamine surges when anticipating success, achieving goals, or experiencing novelty, motivating behavior and reinforcing learning. The brain evaluates reward in context, balancing immediate gratification with long-term outcomes. Pleasure is not a simple reaction. It is a sophisticated feedback system that guides attention, decision-making, and action. Every small victory, every spark of curiosity, every insight is encoded in neural patterns that encourage continued exploration and engagement with the world. Fact 70. Consciousness itself is the brain's most mysterious output. It is not merely awareness of the world, but awareness of awareness, a continuous stream of perception, thought, and feeling. Networks across the cortex, thalamus, and brainstem integrate sensory input, memory, emotion, and attention into the seamless experience of being. Consciousness allows reflection, planning, and creativity, giving humans the capacity to explore the universe both externally and within. It is the most intimate and enigmatic product of neural activity, the silent observer and storyteller, shaping reality with every thought it encounters. Fact 71. Sleep is crucial for the brain to consolidate memories, repair itself, and maintain overall function. During deep sleep, neural circuits replay experiences, strengthening essential connections and pruning unnecessary ones. Dreams, while mysterious, may serve as a sandbox for processing emotions, problem-solving, and creativity. The brain is never truly idle. Even as the body rests, it continues an intricate cycle of restoration and integration, quietly preparing the mind for the challenges of tomorrow. Sleep is not passive, it is a fundamental sculptor of cognition, emotion, and memory, making the invisible work of the brain as vital as the conscious moments we live. Fact 72. The brain's perception of the body, known as the body schema, is a constantly updated map of muscles, joints, and skin. This map allows seamless coordination, balance, and interaction with the world, yet it is surprisingly flexible. Phantom limb sensations, illusions, and virtual reality experiments reveal that the brain can rewrite the body's boundaries, demonstrating that perception is as much construction as reception. The brain's understanding of the self is not fixed. It is a living, adaptive interface between mind and body, capable of surprising transformations. Fact 70. Pain is not simply a physical signal, but a deeply subjective experience generated by the brain. Nociceptors send alerts, but the cortex interprets, amplifies, or diminishes them depending on context, emotion, and attention. Chronic pain illustrates how perception can become decoupled from immediate physical cause, showing the brain's power to create suffering or relief. Pain is both protective and instructive, shaping behavior, empathy, and awareness, and it reminds us that the brain's interpretation of reality is as important as the stimuli themselves. Fact 74. Language is a remarkable feat of the brain, requiring coordination across multiple regions for comprehension, production, and syntax. Broca's area handles expression, Wernicke's area interprets meaning, and the motor cortex orchestrates articulation. Language allows abstract thought, culture, and communication of complex ideas across generations. It is both a tool and a reflection of thought, demonstrating how the brain transforms neural activity into rich, shared experience. Without it, cognition would be confined to immediate sensation. With it, the mind can explore, teach, and transcend. Fact 70. The brain's visual processing network interprets an astonishing amount of information in real time. Light is converted into electrical signals by the retina, transmitted to the occipital cortex, and processed to recognize edges, motion, color, depth, and meaning. Perception is predictive, integrating memory and expectation with sensory input. This creates the illusion of a coherent world even when sensory information is incomplete. Vision is not a passive receipt of data, but a complex construction, a bridge between the external universe and the brain's internal narrative. Fact 76. The brain's capacity for learning languages is extraordinary, especially in early development. Neural circuits are highly plastic, absorbing phonemes, grammar, and syntax with apparent ease. Over time, this plasticity diminishes, yet the brain continues to adapt, demonstrating flexibility and resilience. Multilingual individuals often exhibit enhanced executive control, attention, and memory, illustrating that learning languages reshapes cognition itself. Language learning is not merely acquisition, but a transformative experience that rewires the brain, connecting new networks and perspectives. Fact 77. The sense of smell, though often underestimated, is intimately tied to memory and emotion. Olfactory signals bypass the thalamus and connect directly to the amygdala and hippocampus, allowing sense to trigger vivid recollections and intense feelings. A single smell can transport someone across decades, evoking moments long forgotten or emotions deeply buried. This close coupling of olfaction, memory, and emotion highlights how the brain integrates perception into the rich tapestry of human experience, revealing the power of subtle sensory input to shape consciousness. Fact 7. The brain is constantly balancing excitation and inhibition to maintain stability and adaptability. Neural networks rely on carefully regulated chemical and electrical signals to prevent runaway activity, which could lead to seizures, and to allow learning, creativity, and responsiveness. This dynamic equilibrium underlies thought, emotion, and perception, illustrating how finely tuned the brain must be to function effectively. Even minor disruptions can have profound effects, demonstrating the delicate harmony that sustains consciousness and behavior. Fact 79. The brain's reward system is central to motivation, learning, and behavior. Dopamine, serotonin, and other neurotransmitters create signals of pleasure, satisfaction, and anticipation, guiding actions toward beneficial outcomes. The system evaluates not only immediate rewards but long-term consequences, integrating memory, context, and expectation. Addiction, habit formation, and goal pursuit all reveal the brain's sensitivity to reinforcement and its remarkable ability to shape future behavior based on past experience. Reward is not just a feeling, it is a guiding principle embedded in the structure and chemistry of the mind. Fact 80. The brain's ability to imagine, predict, and simulate experiences is what makes planning and creativity possible. Mental imagery recruits the same circuits used for perception and action, allowing rehearsal without direct interaction with the world. This capacity enables problem-solving, empathy, and foresight, illustrating how thought is both embodied and abstract. The brain does not merely react. It anticipates, experiments, and constructs alternate realities, shaping behavior and perception through invisible simulations that prepare the individual for an uncertain future. Fact 81. The prefrontal cortex, often called the brain's executive center, orchestrates decision-making, self-control, and social behavior. It integrates information from sensory areas, memory, and emotion to guide choices, weigh risks, and plan complex actions. This region develops slowly, not reaching full maturity until the mid-20s, which explains why adolescents often act impulsively while adults gain greater foresight. The prefrontal cortex is also central to moral reasoning and empathy, demonstrating how the brain translates abstract thought into responsible action and ethical understanding. Fact 82. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize and form new connections, is lifelong yet particularly potent in early development. Experiences, learning, trauma, and even injury can reshape neural circuits, creating alternative pathways and compensating for lost function. This adaptability underlies recovery from strokes, learning new skills, and even changes in personality over time. The brain is not a static organ, but a constantly evolving landscape, sculpted by experience and environment, reminding us that thought, behavior, and identity are dynamic rather than fixed. Fact 8. Emotions are generated and regulated through complex networks involving the amygdala, prefrontal cortex, hippocampus, and other regions. Fear, joy, anger, and love are not simply chemical reactions. They are emergent experiences shaped by perception, memory, and context. Emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, interpret, and respond to feelings, is rooted in these networks, influencing relationships, decision-making, and resilience. The brain's emotional architecture demonstrates that cognition and feeling are inseparable, intertwined in a delicate balance that shapes every experience. Fact 8. Memory is not a perfect recording device, but a reconstructive process, influenced by context, expectation, and emotion. The hippocampus encodes experiences, while the cortex stores long-term memories, yet every recall subtly alters the memory itself. This fluidity allows creativity, learning, and adaptation, but also makes memories fallible and susceptible to distortion. Our recollections are not snapshots of reality, but living narratives, reshaped each time they are retrieved, illustrating the brain's active role in constructing personal history. Fact 8. The brain consumes an astonishing amount of energy, representing roughly 20% of the body's total, despite its relatively small size. Neurons require constant fuel to maintain electrical gradients, communicate across synapses, and sustain cognitive function. This energy demand explains why disruptions in oxygen or glucose supply, even briefly, can have profound effects on consciousness, memory, and motor function. The brain's voracious appetite is a testament to its complexity, showing that thought, perception, and consciousness are energetically costly yet essential processes. Fact 8. Mirror neurons, discovered in the 1990s, are thought to enable empathy, imitation, and social understanding. These neurons fire both when an individual performs an action and when they observe someone else performing the same action. This mirroring mechanism allows humans to learn through observation, predict others' intentions, and share emotional experiences. It demonstrates that much of our social cognition is built on embodied simulation, a profound example of how the brain bridges self and other, perception and action, thought and empathy. Fact 87. The brain is constantly predicting the future based on past experience, using prior knowledge to anticipate events, guide action, and minimize surprise. This predictive coding occurs at multiple levels, from sensory processing to complex decision-making, allowing rapid, efficient responses to the environment. Errors in prediction can result in learning, adaptation, or sometimes perceptual illusions. The brain is not just a reactive organ, but a proactive one, continuously generating models of reality that guide perception, action, and understanding in subtle and profound ways. Fact 8. The limbic system, encompassing structures like the hippocampus, amygdala, and hypothalamus, is central to emotion, memory, and motivation. It integrates sensory input, internal states, and past experience to shape behavior, decision-making, and survival strategies. The limbic system's influence is often subconscious, demonstrating how much of our mental life is guided by processes below awareness. Emotion, motivation, and memory are intertwined in this network, revealing the brain's remarkable ability to translate internal signals into meaningful experience and adaptive behavior. Fact 8. Synesthesia is a rare neurological condition in which stimulation of one sensory modality involuntarily triggers another. For example, letters might evoke specific colors, or sounds might produce tactile sensations. This phenomenon demonstrates the brain's interconnectedness and plasticity, revealing that perception is highly individualized and shaped by unique neural wiring. Synesthesia challenges assumptions about sensory experience, showing that the brain is not merely a passive receiver of information, but an active constructor of reality, blending senses in ways that defy ordinary expectation. Fact 90. The brain's default mode network, DMN, activates during rest, daydreaming, and sleep. Far from being idle, the DMN integrates memories, projects future scenarios, and maintains a sense of self. It supports imagination, planning, and creativity, linking internal thought to external action. Alterations in DMN activity are associated with conditions like depression, anxiety, and Alzheimer's disease, showing how fundamental this network is to mental health. The DMN illustrates that even in moments of quiet, the brain is intensely active, weaving the threads of experience, memory, and identity into a coherent narrative of self. Fact 91. The brain's capacity for learning extends far beyond childhood, thanks to lifelong neuroplasticity. Every new skill, language, or habit reshapes neural pathways, strengthening some connections while pruning others. This adaptability allows humans to recover from injury, adapt to new environments, and continue personal growth throughout life. Even in adulthood, the brain can reorganize itself in response to challenge, experience, or deliberate practice, proving that intelligence, creativity, and resilience are not fixed traits, but dynamic outcomes of neural activity and persistent engagement with the world. Fact 92. Dreams, occurring primarily during rapid eye movement, REM sleep, are more than random neural firing. They reflect the brain processing memories, emotions, and problem-solving strategies. The limbic system, prefrontal cortex, and visual areas collaborate to create these vivid narratives, often blending reality, imagination, and subconscious thought. Dreams can consolidate learning, regulate mood, and provide insight into unresolved conflicts. Despite centuries of speculation, the exact purpose of dreaming remains partially mysterious, reminding us that the brain holds vast domains of experience beyond conscious awareness. shaping our inner life in subtle and powerful ways. Fact 93. The brain's hemispheres, left and right, are specialized yet deeply interconnected through the corpus callosum, a thick bundle of nerve fibers. While the left hemisphere often handles language and analytical reasoning, the right excels in spatial awareness, pattern recognition, and creativity. This division is not absolute. Rather, the hemispheres work in concert, continuously exchanging information. The interplay between analytical and intuitive thinking highlights the brain's ability to integrate multiple modes of processing, allowing humans to solve complex problems, interpret art, and navigate both physical and abstract landscapes with astonishing flexibility. Fact 90. The brain continuously generates consciousness through the integration of sensory input, memory, and internal states. Neurons in different regions synchronize their activity to create a seamless sense of self, allowing perception, thought, and awareness to flow together. Disruptions to these networks through injury, anesthesia, or neurological disorders reveal how delicate and interconnected the mechanisms of consciousness truly are. The mind we experience as continuous and stable is, in fact, an emergent property of countless cells communicating in precise, dynamic patterns, revealing the extraordinary complexity underlying the simple act of being aware. Fact 90. Neurotransmitters are chemical messengers that allow neurons to communicate across synapses, shaping thought, mood, and behavior. Dopamine motivates reward-seeking and learning. Serotonin regulates mood and sleep, and acetylcholine enhances attention and memory. These chemicals do not operate in isolation. They interact in intricate networks, creating a balance that underlies mental health and cognitive function. Disruptions in neurotransmitter systems can profoundly affect perception, emotion, and behavior, demonstrating that mental states are deeply rooted in the brain's chemical symphony, where balance is essential and delicate. Fact 96. The cerebellum, traditionally associated with motor control, also contributes to cognition, emotion, and coordination of thought. It integrates sensory information to fine-tune movement, but recent research shows it plays a role in attention, language, and even social interaction. The cerebellum's influence extends beyond physical precision to mental and emotional finesse, illustrating that structures once thought to have narrow functions are, in fact, deeply interconnected with higher-order brain processes. Its subtle but pervasive role demonstrates how even overlooked regions of the brain contribute to the seamless orchestration of mind and body. Fact 97. Brainwaves, rhythmic patterns of electrical activity, organize thought, perception, and sleep. Delta waves dominate deep sleep. Theta waves emerge during meditation and creativity. Alpha waves signal relaxed wakefulness. Beta waves support active thinking. And gamma waves coordinate complex processing. These oscillations allow distant neurons to synchronize, facilitating communication across the brain's vast networks. The patterns of electrical activity are not just background noise. They are the dynamic rhythms that shape consciousness, attention, and learning, revealing that thought is both electrical and emergent, a dance of timing, frequency, and coordination. Fact 98. The brain's ability to simulate future scenarios allows humans to anticipate outcomes, plan strategies, and engage in creative problem-solving. The prefrontal cortex and hippocampus collaborate to imagine possibilities, evaluate risks, and project oneself into imagined worlds. This foresight enables long-term planning, innovation, and social negotiation. It also creates vulnerability to worry and anxiety, as the mind may dwell on potential threats. The brain's predictive power illustrates the dual nature of cognition. It provides remarkable foresight while also generating the complex inner landscapes of fear, hope, and expectation. Fact 90. The vagus nerve, connecting the brain to nearly every organ, exemplifies the intimate dialogue between mind and body. It regulates heart rate, digestion, respiratory rhythm, and inflammatory responses, influencing both physical and emotional states. Stimulating the vagus nerve can alter mood, reduce stress, and even improve learning and memory. This neural highway demonstrates that the brain does not operate in isolation but in constant communication with the body, coordinating internal states to maintain homeostasis and integrate experience across mind and physiology. Fact 100. The human brain remains one of the most complex structures in the known universe, with approximately 86 billion neurons forming trillions of connections. Every thought, memory, emotion, and decision emerges from this intricate network, yet much of its activity remains hidden beneath conscious awareness. Despite centuries of study, we are still only beginning to understand the principles governing perception, consciousness, and cognition. The brain's mysteries remind us that every human experience, every dream, insight, and fleeting sensation is the product of an astonishingly dynamic, living network, a universe contained within our own skulls, ceaselessly shaping who we are and who we might become. And now, sleepy friends, we've reached the edge of this vast and intricate landscape, the conclusion of our journey through the human brain. From the tiniest chemical signals to the grand architecture of consciousness, we've seen how every thought, memory, and feeling emerges from an astonishing network of neurons, forever adapting and reshaping itself. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Did any fact surprise you? Did something spark curiosity or reflection? And where in the world are you listening tonight, letting your mind wander through these hidden worlds inside your own skull? If this journey helped you relax, wonder, or simply pause and reflect, let me know below. Subscribe to the Sleep Labs for more soothing explorations through time, space, and the inner universe of the mind. And join me for quiet journeys that awaken awe while guiding calm. Sleep well, dream deep, and remember the most incredible universe may be the one living quietly inside your own head. Good night, and see you soon.